Babaji Maharaj ki jai, Shri Gaudiya Vedantacharya Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu ki jai, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki jai, Srila Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Chai ki jai, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai, Shri Rup Sanatan Bhattu Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhattadas Raghunath Sad Goswami Prabhu ki jai, Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramdarish Gaur Prasad Arvind ki jai, Namachar Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem Kosh Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivastri Gaur Bhaktavrind ki jai, Shri Navri Dham ki jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan ki jai, Shri Purnamasi Yogumai ki jai, Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai, Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ji ki jai, Nishinga Bhagwan ki jai, Bhakta Pravesh Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Kantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. Shri Radhe Braj Janamana Sukhakari Radhe Cham Sham Shah Shri Radhe Braj Janamana Sukhakari Radhe Sham 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 Mora Mukuta Makara Krita Kandala Gala Vajayanti Mala Mora Mukuta Makara Krita Kandala Gala Vajayanti Mala Charananupura Rasala Radhe Sham 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 Shri Radhe Charananupura Rasala Radhe Sham 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 Sundara Vadana Kamala Dalala Banki Chitta Vanahari Sundara Vadana Kamala Dalala Banki Chitta Vanahari Mohan Vamsi Bihari Radhe Sham 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 Shri Radhe Mohan Vamsi Bihari Radhe Sham 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 Radhe Braja Janamana Sukhakari Radhe Sham 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 Vrindavan mein Denu Charave Gopi Jana Manahari Vrindavan mein Denu Charave Gopi Jana Manahari Shri Govardhan Dhari Radhe Sham 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 Radhe Shri Govardhan Dhari Radhe Sham 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 Shri Radhe Braj Janamana Sukhakari Radhe Sham 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 Radha Krishna Miliya Badao Gaura Rupaya Avatari Radha Krishna Miliya Badao Gaura Rupaya Avatari कीर्तन धर्म प्रचारी राधे श्याम 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 श्री राधे कीर्तन धर्म प्रचारी राधे श्याम 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 श्री राधे व्रज जन मन सुखकारी राधे श्याम 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 श्री राधे व्रज जन मन सुखकारी राधे श्याम 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 तुम बिना मेरे और न कोई नाम रूपया अवतारी तुम बिना मेरे और न कोई नाम रूपया अवतारी चरणन में बलिहारी राधे श्याम 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 श्री राधे चरणन में बलिहारी राधे श्याम 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 श्रीमन्नारायण बलिहारी राधे श्याम 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 श्रीमन नारायण बलिहारी राधे श्याम 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 हाँ राधे श्याम 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 राधे ब्रज जन मन सुखकारी राधे श्याम 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 राधे ब्रज जन मन सुखकारी राधे श्याम 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 हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय गुरुदेवा 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 गीता गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौरा हरि बोल गीता गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। श्री गुरुदेव की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोल
हरि बोल। Thank you so much, Radhika Didi. So beautiful bhajan, one of my favorites. So yeah, if you're around at the end, maybe you can sing Ma mantra. Be nice. Okay. So welcome everyone. Thank you for coming. So this is the 4th Gurudeva Vani Vaishnavi Pracar program with lady speakers from around the world. So we've had so many beautiful ditties, Shamarani Didi, Uma Didi, and so many others. And now this week we've got Krishna Priya Didi from Canada and Madhavi Didi from Alachua, USA. So we warmly welcome them and really looking forward to hearing you both speak today. Very good topics. I think Navalatika Didi, she'll introduce Krishna Priya Didi and the topic she'll speak. Okay. Thanks, Didi. You're on mute, Didi. You're on mute. On mute.
Sorry. Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, Dandavat Pranams to all devotees. Welcome. And also for me, it's a really pleasure and honor to introduce my God sisters, senior God sisters, from whom I can learn so much. So the next Didi, she's very special, Krishna Priya Didi from Canada. Her father is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. She met Gurudeva in 2001 and accepted Harinam and Diksha. Her whole family, all her brothers and sisters are initiated by Srila Gurudeva. She traveled on tour with Gurudeva and also stayed in Kesavaji Gaudiya Math in Mathura for 6 years. And she will be speaking on Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. Welcome, Didi. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Didi. Thank you so much. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Thera Bhaktaya Namo Namah. Mama Gyatana Yusya Janadina Shukya Chakshudini Tamina Tasmai Shri. So today we're going to discuss what is Vaidhi Bhakti and what is Raganuga Bhakti. So Vaidhi Bhakti is like following the Shastric process, all the rules and regulations that are written in the Vedas, and Raganuga, Raga means deep attachment. So it's following, Krishna under his associates and under their moods. So I just wanted to start off with some of Srila Prabhupada's words on it, because I grew up hearing the words of Srila Prabhupada from childhood. So I'll start with Srila Prabhupada, and then after, when I met Srila Gurudeva, he further, explained for me personally more what it means. So Srila Prabhupada says, Vaidhi Bhakti is basically, it's an apprenticeships. Real Bhakti, Para Bhakti, is Raganuga Bhakti. So we have to surpass Vaidhi Bhakti, and we have to our goal is to come to the point where we're following Raganuga Bhakti. So when we're in the bodily concept of life and we're thinking, I'm Black, I'm white, I'm American, I'm Indian, Hindu, Muslim, I'm a man, a woman. So Prabhupada's saying we have to uncover and discover who we really are. So this discovering process, this is called devotional service. And then the more you become pure and the more you become uncovered, and when you come completely uncovered, then we can serve Krishna. So Vaidhi Bhakti, Srila Prabhupada says, is apprenticeship. This is like entering into the school. Real Bhakti, Para Bhakti, is Raganuga Bhakti. So this is our goal. This is what the goal of us following Vaidhi Bhakti, the goal of us following all the rules and regulations of Shastra, because it's necessary, we have to. This is like entering the school. So all the Shastric processes and regulations, they're also very much required. And without this Shastric process, you cannot get to the platform of Raganuga Bhakti. But if you only stick to Shastra and you don't try and improve ourselves every day, then Prabhupada says this Shastric process alone is like at the Kanishta level. He said this is the lowest level. So when we're doing deity worship, it's necessary. Deity worship, we're offering flowers, we're following all the regulative principles, we're doing parikram. Prabhupada said this is a very nice beginning, but one has to go above this. One has to know what is actually bhakti. So if I'm only satisfied by following rules and regulations and the 4 regulative principles, and I'm worshiping the deity, and I don't have any other ideas, I'm just stuck in this, then Srila Prabhupada says, this devotee can fall down at any moment because he's at the beginning stage. He says prakita. Prakita means material platform. So he says we have to rise above this and we have to come to the madhyam stage. And Gurudeva always said that many times in his classes. He says, try not to remain a Kanishta Adhikari forever, because Srila Prabhupada says that in Nectar of Devotion. He says that we have to raise ourselves above this and we have to always strive. How can I get to the madhyam stage? So Prabhupada says a very good analogy for this. He says we have to taste the honey, not just lick the bottle. That is advancement. So when I met Srila Gurudeva in Badger and going on tour with him in 2001, I was really amazed by how much he elaborated on all these beautiful teachings Srila Prabhupada gave us, Chaitanya Charamrita and our Guru Varga. So Gurudev said in a class I was listening to in the car, I had to write it down. He said, all Raganugas are not Rupanugas. One who has the intrinsic mood of Rupa Goswami, or Rupa Manjari, this is a Rupanuga. So Ramanujacharya, Prahlad Maharaj, Madhavacharya, Hanuman, they're all not Rupanuga. So all Rupanuga Vaishnavas are Raganuga, but not all Raganuga are Rupanuga. So Srila Gurudev said, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, he's in this line, and his glory is that he's a Rupanuga Vaishnava. He said he didn't come just to preach Varnashram Dharma. And that was one of the really powerful things when we first met Srila Gurudev, is he said, Srila Prabhupada did not come to teach Varnashram Dharma, because in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu, when he's speaking to Ramananda Roy, he rejected this and he said, Varnashram Dharma is external. So who are Rupanugas? All our acharyas, from Rupa Goswami to Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, to Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, they all follow Rupa Manjari. And Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, he only came from Goloka Vrindavan to give us this mercy and to give us this. So his Gurudev, the Gurudev is our Srila Gurudev, he's saying, the Guru of Srila Prabhupada is Nayana Manjari, like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. His Param Gurudev, our Param Gurudev, Kalma Manjari. So he came, but when he came, he had to cut so many jungles and so much Mayavad, Sakiveti, and everything. So he said, Gurudev said, Srila Prabhupada, he gave everything in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Gurudev really emphasized this on his tours. And even Charu, when I first met her, she was doing the drama play about Roy Ramananda Samvad and the importance of these teachings. And Gurudev would speak of it over and over and over again. He would say, come with me to Vrindavan, sit on the banks of the Godavari, listen to Mahaprabhu discussing with Ramananda Roy. And in this class I read this morning, Gurudev said, this discussion in Chaitanya Charitamrita with Ramananda Roy and the purports and everything that Srila Prabhupada gave, this is superior to even the 10th canto, because it's showing us our goals, it's showing us everything. So now we're going to talk about greed. So Gurudev, he always gave this thing, how can we have this greed to get into Raganuga Bhakti? So he said there's no worldly qualification for greed. You can be full of so many anartas. So anartas are all our undesirable habits and our thoughts. But if we take shelter of a pure Rasik Bhakta, who's a Raganuga, and we worship and serve under him and hear from him, then eventually we start becoming attracted. We start developing this deep greed by hearing from them, by hearing their Harikatha, by reading their books, by associating with them. And by their association, then this mood, this greed for the mood of the Vrajavasis comes in our heart. So where does this greed come from? Some people are saying, well, how come this person has greed and that person doesn't have greed? So that's a very good question. So one, Gurudev always talks about samskars. And what are samskars? Samskars are like impressions in our heart. And we've been through so many millions and millions of births, death, old age, disease, going through 8,400,000 species of life. And Gurudev says, Brahmute kon Bhagavan Ajiv, Guru Krishna Prasade by Bhakti Latvi. So just as there's a river or a very strong current, and there's one straw floating around. And if that straw or wood washeth us on the shore. That's like how the jivas, by chance, they come into association of a Vaishnav, they come into hearing the holy name, they come into someone doing Harinam on the street. So they get these impressions. And when these impressions are finally built up to a point, then they can start cultivating. Oh, they start getting more sukriti. So when they have proper association from previous lives, then they can cultivate greed by reading Shastra. Because you say some people, I mean, in my experience, I've seen people like Sripad Prem Prayojan Prabhu, he can read Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita at one time and he knows the whole thing off by heart, every verse, every shloka, everything. And I was like, that's not fair. Why does this person can absorb so much and I'm just like, I got nothing. So Gurudev saying this is from previous life impressions. So when someone has previous life impressions and they're reading Shastra, that's why we distribute books, then eventually this greed can awaken also by reading Shastra. And then eventually by that greed, then we'd say, oh, I want to associate with a pure Vaishnava. And by all this eventually, and we can attain. So Gurudev says he won't rely on his logic to convince him. This is like, when you're greedy, you're not dependent on logic. You're not dependent on, can I do this? And like calculating everything, you just want it. So what are the different types of Shraddha are there? So Gurudev saying there's two types of faith. Shraddha means faith. So there's Vaidhi and Raganuga Shraddha. And eventually these result in two types of bhakti, which is Vaidhi and Raganuga Bhakti. So in both Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti, Shraddha is achieved through sadhu sangha. We have to associate with devotees, Rasik Vaishnavas. So Vaidhi Bhakti is the entrance and is impelled by fear. Like, oh, someone may hear that if I don't worship Krishna, I'll go to hell, or I'm suffering so much, and I don't want to go to hell and all my sinful reactions. So I'm going to do bhakti and worship Krishna and do artik and join the temple so I don't go to hell. So this is called, like, I'm going to worship Krishna by logic and reason. So this is more the Vaidhi. And then Raganuga Bhakti is that which is based only on genuine greed. So genuine greed, what is the nature of genuine greed? What does it mean to be greedy? So Gurudev says, how can we know our greed can be actually genuine? So Gurudev said, when a sadhak hears from a Raganuga Vaishnava, he hears the sweet pastimes of Krishna and he starts becoming so eager and he wants to acquire the moods of all Krishna's parikars. So when our mind and heart, they're eagerly desiring to be like the eternal associates of Krishna, and you thinking, I want to have their moods, then this is called greed. And this is a very important point that really struck me when Gurudev said this. This is basically the essence of what greed is. He says, at that time, the devotee is not interested in examining the Shastric orders, like all the nitty bitty rules and regulations and mudras and everything. He only wants to attain the mood, which he sees in his Ashrarya Gopi. And at that stage, rules and regulations of Shastra are not needed at that high stage. So Gurudev always tells a story of what is greed. He says, if we judge that we're not qualified and we think, oh, I don't want to have this is too high, we're not supposed to meditate on all that. So Gurudev says, if we judge that we are not qualified and we think that what we want is too high, then this is a sign that we do not possess greed. Because what is greed? Gurudev gives the example of it, like there's a dog on the street and someone's eating a juicy rasgulla. The dog is not qualified. He doesn't have money to go buy the rasgulla, but he sees this rasgulla and he thinks, oh my God, it's so sweet. And then some saliva comes on his tongue. And then he just wants it, and he'll lick the plate after, he'll run after, do anything he can to get it, even though he's not qualified. So when we're hearing from a pure devotee, even though we're not qualified, I have so many anarthas, I have so many unwanted things, but I'm hearing these sweet pastimes of Radha and Krishna from a pure Rasik Vaishnava like Srila Gurudeva and our acharyas, then we think, I want to have this. We have this greed, we have this desire. And that's one of like the amazing specialties that Gurudev gave us. He gave us this actual, oh, I want to taste that. he said, even if there's a rickshaw driver, he's very poor, staying in India somewhere, and he sees a photo of Princess Diana in England. And he thinks, oh, I like her. I want to be with her. I want to marry her. Even though he's not qualified, he can never be with Princess Diana. He said, but anyways, you can think about it. So this is kind of like a material example of how we should be. So he says, when we are greedy, we have this mood, like by hook or crook, I can beg, borrow, steal. I don't know, everything I does is just to get to my cherished goal. So he doesn't consider whether or not he can have it. He simply thinks, I must have it, like do or die. So when a sadhak, he hears from the Rasik Vaishnavas about Lalita, about Vishaka, Chitra, Rupa Manjari, and we think like, oh, I want to serve like them. And we're not judging whether I'm qualified or not. We're not waiting for logical argument to, convince him. We don't need convincing at this stage. We just want it. And so this is when once this greed comes, by association with all these Rasik Vaishnavas, and then when we have this goal in mind, then when we're reading the books and we're praying, how can I achieve this mood? And Gurudeva always gave the example that we have to have a goal. So when we have a goal, everything we do, if we set this goal, how can I get it? And and we also think, like, if we're going to make money, what is the easiest method I can get to do this? So when we're reading all our books and all the shastras, we should have this goal in mind in our heart, like this feeling like, how can I get my cherished goal? So Gurudeva saying all the writings of our acharyas, of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, and everything, this is why they came, and this is why they are giving all these books, because when we read them, then this can awaken this mood and desire in our heart. And Gurudeva says they recorded all these books and songs in such a practical way for us. So one of the beautiful things that I heard is that the essence of all the teachings of our acharyas are actually in our song books. So a really beautiful way to connect to God and Guru is, because I'm covered by so many narratas. I don't know how to pray. If I pray with my own words, it's all messed up. But if we're deeply crying and praying, the songs of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, everything they gave in the songbooks, this is basically the essence, and it evokes this mood and everything. So it's very beautiful. And the last thing I wanted to say about greed and following this is Gurudeva always tells a story. He says, if you're going on a train, you have to buy a ticket. Like, where am I going? What is my goal? So if we're always constantly saying, well, I don't know where I'm going, I'll just chant Hare Krishna and whatever, if I become a stick or a cow or, or blade of grass, like, we have to have a goal in mind. And when our goal is there, then we achieve it. So you can't go to the airport and say, oh, I want a ticket anywhere, no problem. Because honestly, there's so many destinations in this world. If you want to become Shiva or Brahma, you follow 100 years perfectly of Varnashram Dharma. There's so many shastras, and scriptures for all these different goals. It covers everything. So we should be one pointed, like, what is my goal? What do I want? And that is one thing that Gurudeva gave us: greed. Oh, actually, I hear these beautiful pastimes of Radha and Krishna and Braj. Oh, I hear about, being the maidservant of Srimati Radharani. This is so beautiful. So this is basically what we're trying to do in this lifetime, is to develop this greed, to develop this desire, to have this mood that I want to serve under Rupa Manjari, I want to serve Srila Gurudev. So I'm very lucky that he came and pulled me. I'm still entering into the doorway of bhakti, but I pray that he can give me entrance and greed can come into my heart. So that's what I'm going to do. The end. Thank you, Charu, for hosting this.
Well, thank you. That was amazing. That was great what you spoke.
That was Gurudev.
Wow. Yeah, I remember very well us traveling together with Srila Gurudev on the tours, and we were in a few dramas together, and you played Mahaprabhu, nice and tall.
But this is how I learned about this stuff. I actually had no idea about Ramananda Roy Samvad and all that stuff, but thank you to your mercy. You're also my Shiksha Guru Charu. Help me understand everything by memorizing the drama plays.
It was good
Yeah.
fun, and yeah, it was so nice to be able to get the opportunity to perform for Gurudev, and Gurudev would always, correct or
Yeah.
Add some very beautiful moods and like this. So
Yeah.
anyway, you spoke so nicely, how, from Srila Prabhupada, of course, all very fortunate to come into contact with Prabhupada's books, and he spoke so much about Vaidhi and Raganuga Bhakti. So, you mentioned about how Prabhupada said we should uncover and discover who we really are.
Yep.
We're all in the bodily concept of life. And, at this stage, we're entering Vaidhi Bhakti. But knowing that Raganuga Bhakti is the goal, that's very important, you mentioned. And Vaidhi Bhakti is the platform. So, but if we continue practicing Vaidhi Bhakti for the rest of our lives and don't even attempt to enter Raganuga Bhakti, then we're not, certainly not.
That's why he said we should try to advance to the stage of Madhyam. One should not remain a Kanishta forever. And Gurudev always emphasized that. Srila Prabhupada said that. He always said it. Prabhupada said, we should not remain a Kanishta forever. We should try to advance to Madhyam.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So that's what Gurudev was always encouraging. And, if we, like you were saying, if you remain on the Vaidhi Bhakti platform, then we can fall down at any moment. And so, we have to strive to enter Raganuga Bhakti. And of course, Gurudev would say over and over again, not all Raganuga Bhaktas are Rupanuga Bhaktas. So it's very important we're following the footsteps of Srila Rupa Manjari, Shri Rupa Manjari and Rupa Goswami. And of course, what is the qualification? You mentioned over and over again, greed. And where do we get that greed? Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavitamati Kriyatoriyati Kupu Labhyate Tatra Lolyam Api Mulyam Ekalam. That means, who has that greed? That is the Raganuga Bhakti, the Rupanuga Bhakti, like Srila Gurudev. And it's only by associating with him that we can attain such greed, so he can give that to us. And nice point you made about how you might think, oh, I'm not qualified, but actually that's kind of a disqualification to think like that, because anyone can have greed. So, and you gave the example, of course, of like the tramp in the street, and he has no qualification whatsoever. He has no chance of marrying Lady Diana, or Princess Diana, but he has greed. So this is most important thing. And of course, for us to know what is our goal. And if you go to get a train ticket, then you got to know where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, you could end up anywhere. So Gurudev's clearly given us this goal, that Manjari Bhav, Radha Dashyam. So then we just simply have to follow him, follow in his footsteps. And he's spoken so much about Raganuga Bhakti, and he's given us so much greed to follow this process, to enter into Raganuga Bhakti. So it's all there, but patience also is needed at the same time. But very high class association we need, and that will spur us on. Okay, so thank you so much, Didi. You spoke so nicely, gave so much. Did you want to say anything, Navalatika, Didi?
Well, actually, I have a question, but I can make it at the end or right now.
Are you going to stay around till the end, Krishna Priya, Didi?
Yeah, I'll be here.
Yeah, I think it's good, because then we can have all the questions at the end. If anyone has any, you can put in the chat if anyone has any questions. That'll be great.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right, so we can move on to Madhavi Didi, are you here? Hope she's here. Hi, Bo. She's not here?
I'm
No.
here. I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Okay, that's all right. Go.
My mic
All
was
right,
muted.
so
Turning
okay,
off.
nice to see you, Didi. Okay, hi. So I'd just like to introduce Madhavi Didi. I've known both Madhavi Didi and Krishna Priya Didi for many years. So as many of you may know, her father is Isha Prabhu and her mother is Gurudeva Didi, and they're both Srila Prabhupada disciples. And, you know, of course, many will know that Isha Prabhu, he started Srila Gurudev's archives in 2001 by digitalizing and distributing all Gurudev's lectures. That was such a major saver. And so much needed. So he did that for devotees all over the world, you know, put all these classes online, and he archived them so we could have this access. And about Madhavi Didi herself, she lived in the temple with her parents until they moved out when she was 9 years old. And in spring of 1999, her whole family met Srila Gurudev. So at that time, she was very fortunate. She stayed in the same house as Gurudev for 1 week, and she accepted Harinam and Diksha from Gurudev in April of 1999. And she traveled with Gurudev on his Western tours for a few years. And she spent time with him in India from 1999 to 2003. I think you stayed for some time in Shikeshji Gaudiya Math, I think in Mathura, right?
We live next door, yeah.
Yeah, next door. And yeah, Krishna Priya Didi too. She was there. And she said in 2015, her father started the Pure Bhakti Archive Incorporate, and that was a non-profit organization for Srila Gurudev's audio saver team, and she's currently the president for that institution. And yeah, of course, we feel ourselves very unfortunate that to be bereft of her father's association, Isha Prabhu. You know, we're really indebted to him. And also, you know, now Madhavi Didi's taking over, and she, along with Lavanga Manjari Didi, of course, and her husband. So, yeah, Madhavi Didi's doing so much service, and we're very grateful to her to speak today. And she's inspired to speak on the Harmony book. So really looking forward to hearing your talk, Didi. It's a very good topic. Okay. All right, take it away. Thanks.
Hardly doing anything. I just help Lavanga Didi. She's the Pure Bhakti Archive superstar right now. So just have to say.
Well, you were in the initiator, and you're still doing so. I'm also very grateful for that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namam Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Kriyatmane Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayani Tinamane Shri Krishna Lila Katane Sadaksham Madhurya Madhurya Gunastaktam Varam Varenyam Purusham Mantam Narayanam Tam Sivastanamani Vanchakopatirupascha Kripasindubhavacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So as Char Didi said, I'm going to be speaking, in case no one has seen, this is Srila Gurudev's Harmony book. And it's now available as an audio book. And so if anyone wants the link, I just put it to the chat. So if you don't like reading and you want to listen, you can listen to the book. And Hari Priya Didi from Houston, she asked me to do a shout out for that. So it's there for anyone that wishes.
Madhavi Didi, can you make it a little louder? Maybe come closer. And
I have an extra mic, but if I put it in, I won't be able to hear anyone else speak. So is this okay if I speak a little louder, or is it still too?
I think it's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just raise my voice like I'm talking to my mom. She's hard of hearing. Okay. So I was inspired to share about this book. It's a collection, it's excerpts of Srila Gurudeva's Harikatha put together by Srimati, I believe Srimati Shamarani Didi. And Srimati Shamarani Didi, she always says that when we look at a book, we shouldn't think this is just a book. We should think this is Gurudev himself speaking, or this is Sri Rupa Goswami speaking, whoever's the author of the book, that first we should pray to the author of the book that you're not a book, O Prabhu, you're Gurudev himself. And while I'm looking at this, I pray that your words are entering from my ears into my heart, and that this realization of what you're teaching will manifest to me. So I think that this book, I'm attracted to it because I am attracted when people are devotees, especially, but people are getting along and working together. Because in order for us to serve properly, we need to work together. We need to come together and unite to serve together and work together. So this book it's so important for that to happen, for devotees to feel encouraged, to feel like we all want to be a part of a community. We all want to feel connected. And Gurudev, he would say, everyone is looking for love and affection. Every animal, every species of life, they're all looking for that love and affection. So how will we feel that love and affection if we're constantly battling and quarreling and being angry at one another? We will be bereft of that feeling. So to develop those moods of love and affection, Srila Gurudev, he spoke so many times about having a mood of humility, of tolerance, of patience. This one shloka he would speak all the time. Chanadapi sunichena taroravi sahisnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sarahari. To think oneself lower than a straw on a street, than a blade of grass, always giving and never asking. Just like the tree gives fruits, flowers, leaves. You can cut the branches off the tree and the tree never complains. So this mood of a real Vaishnava, they have this mood of humility and of tolerance. And in this book, Srila Gurudev, he says, we should always see how we can understand someone else's condition and try and help them. That we should keep our own moods and our problems to ourselves. And that Vaishnavas, they look to see how they can help others. And Gurudev, he said, in the very beginning, he says, Krishna is love and love is Krishna. So this love that we're all seeking is actually Krishna. But we have so many blocks. We have so many, our mind, our senses, they're always pulling us towards things that are unrelated to, or at least me, I don't want to speak for anyone else, but pulling, the senses are pulling. Bhagavad Gita says like this, that the mind, the senses are like wild horses, and they're constantly pulling us in so many directions. So Krishna Priya Didi, she was speaking about this high topic, about this Raganuga Bhakti. And that Raganuga Bhakti is like so far away. It's like this big palace. And we are like that beggar she talked about, that beggar with maybe a semblance of this greed, wanting that big thing, that big palace, that beautiful love and affection, Sri Krishna and Radhika. So how do we get from being that beggar in the street to being able to live and be into that palace and having association with Sri Radha Krishna, Radha Govinda? So Gurudev, he says time and time and time again, everywhere, every tour, don't criticize. That criticism is the one thing that will destroy our bhakti. So when we're practicing, when we're chanting, we're remembering, we're hearing Harikatha, but we have a critical tendency in our mind or maybe our words, that criticism, that's stopping us from reaching that palace. It's stopping us on our journey. It destroys any semblance of bhakti that we have. And that critical nature is such a dangerous thing. So if we're quarreling and we're fighting with those in our household, with other devotees, we're seeing people, maybe someone's not following to our standard or way we think they should, and we look and we see and we think, oh, look at them, they're not chanting, I'm chanting. And when we think like this, then all of the bad qualities of that person, it makes a bridge from our heart to theirs, and all of their bad qualities, it comes to us. So we have to be diligent beggars. We have to be diligent in our practice, in our mind, in our mood, in our senses. And Gurudev, he says, Srila Rupa Goswami has given Sri Upadeshamrita for this reason, to teach us how to control. And the first sloka of Upadeshamrita is what? Controlling the tongue, controlling the mind, controlling the belly, controlling the genitals. And then after that, it's the things to avoid. Adyahara Prayaschischa, right? Avoiding the bad things. But Srila Gurudev says in this third verse, Utsahad Nischaya Darya Tatta Karma Pravartanat Sangitagat Satokite Sadbir Bhakti Prasidhiti, that this enthusiasm, if we follow this third verse of Upadeshamrita, then automatically the other two, they're followed. So if we spend so much time, oh, I don't want to eat this, I don't want to do this, and no, and no, and no, and no, then we're just focusing on those things we don't want. And the mind, whatever we resist, you'll hear this in like New Age things, what you resist persists. So if it's always, I don't want to do this, I can't do this, no, then what are you doing? You're actually meditating upon those things. And so Gurudeva has given us so many things to meditate on, to absorb our mind in this Harikatha. What is Rupa Nuga? What is Raga Nuga? What is Vaidhi, Bhakti? What is Shraddha? What is faith? He's given us so much books, so many Harikatha, 13,000 lectures we have recorded in the audio Seva team. So we have this unlimited amount of Harikatha that we can bring our minds to. Because if we're not thinking of Krishna, then we're thinking about who knows what else, so many other things. So Gurudev, he said, we want to associate with everyone on the platform of love and affection. You cannot even control your own mind, what to speak of controlling others. Avoid criticizing others, criticize your own mind and your own bad habits instead. And what is this? Because if we're not at the platform, the level of Sri Guru, then when we criticize, or even if we come to someone, oh, Prabhu, you should do like this, if we don't have the power to change that person's heart, then our words are falling on deaf ears. There's no power to them. We have to practice, and we have to become at least like Madhyam Adhikari, but really we have to, Gurudev, he would say, I want you to become like me. We have to come to that stage. And so when we see the faults in others, really we should take our minds and we should, like Gurudev would say, like Manashiksha, we should hit our mind with a broom. We should sweep our minds, our hearts, and focus, where are my faults? How can I progress? How can I adjust my heart and my mood and my tendencies? But it's very difficult if we're not in sadhu sangha. Srila Gurudev always said, sadhu sangha, sadhu sangha, sadhu sangha, sarva sastra hoy, lava matra sadhu sangha, sarva siddhi hoy. Many of us had more than that lava mantra, 1/11th of a second. We had many seconds, many even years. But, and it's saying, oh, pure devotee can give that perfection in 1/11th of a second. But if we don't have the platform, if we don't have the capacity to take what Gurudev is giving because our heart is filled with this criticism, then we can't accept what Gurudev is giving and we can't make progress. So this sadhu sangha is so important. One Vaishnava, he said, sadhus are like the sun and we're like that wet wood. And how a wet wood, you can try to light wet wood, you can try and make a fire, but it's just soggy, nothing's going to happen. But if you put that piece of wood in the presence of the sun, what, immediately it's lit up. And I know from talking with so many devotees that when any of us were in that association of Srila Gurudev, that we felt like that wet wood, but on fire. We felt that inspiration. We felt that bhakti was so close. Like just now, Krishna is coming. When I'm chanting just now, because Gurudev's mercy, because the personality that Gurudev was, prem bhakti, just emanating from him. And so by being in his association, then we get some feeling of that energy, that feeling of the spiritual world here. And then that's how we develop that greed. But if we're not staying in sadhu sangha and we're not staying in that type of association and hearing that harikatha, then again we can kind of get a little soggy again and again. And so Gurudev, he stressed that sadhu sangha. But if we're misbehaving and we're acting badly and we're not sincere, we're not following Gurudev's instructions, then we become bereft of that sangha. But don't give up hope, Gurudev said, right? We shouldn't give up hope, because Vaishnavas, they don't see what wrong we do. Vaishnavas see how we do for them, what the positive things. And Krishna, he also sees like this. But if we criticize, if we make Vaishnava aparad, then Krishna will become very disturbed and put a block. He'll check us. Gurudev said if we make Vaishnava aparad and we don't care, then we'll go to a worse type of hell than we're in right now in this material world. So we should be afraid. Out of all the things we should be afraid of, we may do some sinful activities and we should try and correct ourselves. But bhakti can eliminate all these anarthas, bhakti can take away. But this criticism, that's the thing. That's the key factor here that will destroy what we're trying to do. The devotee's mood, again, is this trinadapi sunichena, having humility, having always giving and never taking. Gurudev said, if you slap someone, then you can expect they'll slap you back, right? Or maybe even twice as hard. So if problems are coming, our tendency is to think, oh, it was that person, it was this person, it was because of this thing. But Gurudev said, no, any problems that are coming, that is because of our past sinful activities. That's because what we have done. So when we can take responsibility for what is coming to us, if we can accept it, Gurudev, he spoke this verse, Tate nukampam susamikshmano bunjana evatma kritam vipakam ridvag vibhubir vidadam namaste jivetyo mukti pade sadaivak. So this mood of Tate nukampam, I'm sorry, I can't find the exact translation, but this mood, whatever is coming is my doing. It's my fault. It's my problem, but I won't give up hope. I won't give up hope. And Krishna is arranging for my benefit. And the perfect example of this is Srila Haridas Thakur. Srila Haridas Thakur, he wouldn't give up chanting the holy names. And the Muslim king, he sent him to his death. He told the guards, you beat him in the marketplace. Not 22, but just go beat him essentially. But what happened? Haridas Thakur, his skin is coming. He's basically down to skin and bones, or just bones, but he won't give up the chanting. All the while, he's praying, oh Krishna, don't be angry with these guards. Please be merciful for them. Like we also see the example of Jesus Christ also having this mood. Those who put him on the cross, he had this mood to pray for them. So when someone's attacking us, when someone's coming at us, maybe we can switch our mood and also pray for them. Oh, I please pray for this person, because whatever they're doing to me, I deserve. I probably deserve, and so much more. Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, he says that the hardest thing is to not fight back when we've been accused of something that we've done, we haven't done. If we've been wrongly accused, then some burning comes inside. We want to defend ourselves. We want to fight back. But he said if we don't fight back, and we can understand that maybe not in this life, but in one life or another, certainly I have done this bad thing and maybe 1,000 times worse things. So this mood of accepting this punishment from Krishna, or our karma that's coming to us, but treating it with humility, being tolerant, and being kind and compassionate, not worrying for our own care, but worrying for others. That this is the moods of the Vaishnavas. So I'm just gonna so Gurudev, he would say also that we should mind our own bhakti. And their tendency there is that when we're in the association of Vaishnavas, when we're around devotees and we see that someone is not following appropriately, it's natural that the mind, it goes to that person. Oh, look, they're not chanting. Oh, he's making this mistake. She's making this mistake. But Gurudev is saying, no, mind your own bhakti. And if you're an advanced Vaishnava, then you should be kind and compassionate to junior Vaishnavas. And this is so important for our exchange because new devotees are coming. They don't know anything. So senior devotees, Madhyam Adhikaris, Gurudev gave by example. Look how much love and affection Gurudev gave to all of us over and over again. And I'm sure those that are listening, any of you that have made a mistake or done something wrong or anything, that how did Gurudev treat us with so much love, even if he was chastising, still so much love and affection. Because even that chastisement, if there are children playing on a playground and one of them is acting badly and a mother comes and she slaps that child, you know that's the child's mother. That's her kid. She's not going to go and slap anybody's child or chastise somebody else's children. She's going to take her children and she's going to correct their behavior. So even when Gurudev chastises us and Gurudev corrects us, it's because he's like our mother, more than a million mothers. His goal is to take us to this Raganuga Bhakti, to become Srimati Radhika's maidservants. So of course he's going to direct us, he's going to correct us, and he's going to lead us in the right direction. Even if we're not in our visible, we can't see him, still Gurudev is always making these arrangements. But it's not our business to chastise, it's not our business to correct. It's our business to mind our bhakti, to chant our Harinam, to develop these moods of humility that Gurudev was talking about, to not be lazy in learning the Siddhanta of our previous acharyas, of our Guru Parampara. And if our mind is criticizing, we have so many more other things that we can think about, that we can focus on. Gurudev's given so much Harikatha, the pastimes of Srimati Radhika and Krishna. So if we can bring our mind away from this external world and bring it back to our Harinam, to our Gurudev, to his mercy and his love and affection and his kindness, then we can protect that bhakti creeper, that seed that he has given us, and we can have some hope that by his mercy, slowly, by practicing, that we can progress. So I'm not sure where I am on time, Didi.
Mute. Yeah, I wasn't even looking at the time, to be honest. Let's see. Yeah, did you want to speak a little more? You can if you want.
Yeah, a couple more minutes. I just didn't want to go over if there was So one story of the power of Vaishnavas is the story of Maharaj Ambarish and Durvasa Muni. So Maharaj Ambarish, he was following Ekadasi very strictly. And when it was for 1 year, and when he was going to break his fast on the last Ekadasi, then Durvasa Muni, he came there and he said, I'm going to go take bath. And then when I come back, Ambarish Maharaj was like, okay, we'll take prasad. But when we break Ekadasi, there is just this small titi, this small amount of time that we can break. So Ambarish Maharaj, he knew that it was culture, it was their culture that he wait to eat anything before, he wouldn't eat before Durvasa Muni came. But he also knew that it was more important to follow Ekadasi. So he thought, even if Durvasa Muni curses me or anything, then it's okay because I will have followed my bhakti vrat. So what happens, Durvasa Muni, he knows everything. And so Ambarish Maharaj, he only took Charnamrita. He didn't even take a meal or anything. He just took a little Charnamrita. But Durvasa Muni, knowing everything, he's a powerful yogi, he came there and he chastised Ambarish. And he was going to pull a dreadlock and he was going to send a fire demon after Ambarish Maharaj. But what happened? The Sudarshan chakra came and began chasing. I'm sure all of you know this story. Began chasing Durvasa Muni all over. First, he went to Brahma, Shiva. Then he went to Vishnu, and then Vishnu says, "You must go back to Ambarish Maharaj to apologize." So even though Durvasa Muni was there, he wanted to attack Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj, this whole time, while Durvasa Muni is traveling around to so many places, to Vaikuntha even, this whole year, he didn't take anything. He's waiting and he's praying. He's praying for Durvasa Muni. Now think about this practically. Anyone's coming after you to hurt your body, what are you doing? You're not sitting and praying for that person. Me, I'm fighting back. But Ambarish Maharaj, he is this example of devotee. He's praying for Durvasa Muni. And when Durvasa Muni finally realized the greatness of this Vaishnava, he came back and he prayed to Ambarish Maharaj, "Oh, please forgive me." And Ambarish Maharaj, "No, I'm so sorry I took without you. Please come and take prasad." So Ambarish Maharaj, he had this mood, even though someone was attacking him, trying to kill him, so many things, he's praying for this person. He didn't get angry. So we can develop these tolerant, very high class moods of Vaishnava, which starts with not criticizing. It starts with avoiding that tendency to criticize and controlling the mind to focus on Harikatha, focus on Gurudev's mercy, focus on the stories of how the Vaishnavas are so loving and kind and merciful. They have unconditional mercy for the fallen souls. So if we can attract that mercy by following the instructions, by chanting, by praying, by crying loudly, then we have some chance to progress in bhakti. So today, speaking in front of all of you, thank you so much, Charo Didi, for giving me this opportunity. And you had asked me to preach in '99 with you. And I didn't know anything. And Gurudev was like, "No, come with me later." So even now you're still encouraging me to speak, and all of our God sisters here to speak and preach. And I know Gurudev would be so happy that you're doing this. And thank you for giving me this opportunity. I pray to all Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, that these things will come into my heart so I can realize them, and that I can also be the recipient of Shri Guru's mercy. Vanchakopa Trupascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha.
Hi, Valdis. That was so nice. Wow. So nice to be reminded of all these such important instructions that Gurudev gave again and again and again. And of course, Shamarani Didi collected them and put them in this book called Harmony. And actually, it's so important. Yeah, beautiful book. Highly recommended. And you said you mentioned about the audio book has come out now, so that's good to listen to. But anyway, you mentioned some very good points about how, you know, we all need community. So in order to have community, then we have to get along with each other. Sometimes it's not so easy. You know, maybe quarreling is there, you know, it's very difficult to tolerate each other, you know. Actually, it's said that one of the main qualifications for living in an ashram is tolerance, you know. But actually, you know, when you think about it, sometimes you think, oh, I can't tolerate this devotee or that devotee, and, you know, so many devotees getting on my case or whatever it is. But, you know, in the outside world, it's so much we have to tolerate. But anyhow, you know, what are the qualities we need? That's Trinada Pisa Nishana Taro Pisa Hishna Mani Namanade Na Kirtanya Sadahari. So Gurudev told again and again and again. But of course, the instructions are there in Shiyupadeshamrita, Vachavega Manushakodavegam, and these first two verses, Achihara Prayashascha Prajalponi Amagraha. If we follow these two verses, you mentioned that the third verse, Tranada Pisanishana, will automatically come. We can easily follow. But, you know, one of the biggest obstacles we have is criticizing. So it's easy for us to look at others, you know, see someone who's not following properly or doing anything we think is wrong, then we can point the finger and criticize so easily. But Gurudeva said again and again, you should criticize your own mind, you know, don't criticize others, don't point the finger like this. We should come to the platform of love and affection. So Gurudeva was the embodiment of love and affection. And of course, you know, he taught by his own example. So, you know, Gurudeva always said, I've got everything to give, but nothing to take. Remember, he would say that. So, you know, following that example, following that instruction, we can try to develop this mood. And also Tateno Kampansa Samikshamana, a very, very important verse you mentioned, and how, you know, anything, if anyone is saying or doing anything we feel is against us, then we can always think, oh, you know, this is my own karma, and even feel compassion for that person. So never accuse others, and it's not our business to chastise or correct anyone. And even, you know, brilliant example you gave of Devasa Rishi, how he even sent the fiery demon to Ambarish Maharaj. And what did Ambarish Maharaj do? He didn't get angry. He just simply forgave him. He you know, he tolerated everything and even prayed for him. So to try to develop these qualities, and in this way we can all get along with each other. And the more we cooperate, Srila Prabhupada said to cooperate, Gurudeva said to cooperate again and again. So in that way, can you imagine you know, the result of just simply being humble, tolerating, giving all respect to others and not expecting any respects for ourselves, and cooperating, you know, we'll grow in our own bhakti, and everyone around us will be growing in their bhakti. And yeah, this movement will go very far. So anyway, you spoke very nicely, and also Krishna Priya Didi spoke very nicely, really brilliant topics of Vaidhi and Raganuga Bhakti and Madhavi Didi about harmony. So there was some, oh, did you want to say anything, Navalatika Didi?
Oh, yeah, thank you, Didi. Just in regard, well, I have one question also for Vaidhi and Raganuga Bhakti, but in regard to this verse that Srila Gurudev used to always make us to learn, like this Tateno Kampansu Samikshamanu, I just listened one class that also this verse can help us to like be really surrendered to the process, you know, because to perform bhakti, it's necessary to be enthusiastic, confident, and patient, as stated in Upadeshamrita, but also when we divide this verse in the words, in Sanskrit words. For example, it says that Susamiksha Manu, Sushu means that we have to see, you know, like to see Sam. Susamiksha means with a complete vision, with the right vision, in that everything that happens in our life is like not just waiting for some day to come the mercy. That means that everything in our lives, actually the mercy of Krishna mercy and Gurudev's mercy. So because we always want this happiness, but the happiness is like secondary result of our performed bhakti, but it's not the main thing that we are looking for. So happiness comes a side effect of bhakti, of one's bhakti practice. So and also the suffering comes from not performing the like the in the right way the bhakti. So suffering comes with we are not performing bhakti. So in this verse also it says that with this really state of mind, we can be surrendered like a child drinks the milk when the father gives to him. So the child says, I don't know what's right for me. My dad knows what's right for me. So what he gives, I accept everything like his mercy. So I think in this mood, we can always be like peaceful. We can always be like focused in our bhakti. And yeah, and also this verse says that when the devotee bows down before Krishna, he's giving his body, minds, and words, and that means that the devotee doesn't feel it's supposed, like when we really surrender to Krishna, it's like we are really trust in the Lord. It's not like just a pose. It's just it's really that we have to trust that every moment in our life is in our like offering like the body, mind, and words to Krishna. So everything that comes to us is mercy. It's just mercy from him and from Srila Gurudeva, that he wants to teach always something to us, because we are really we are conscious. It's like not pure. So we need to accept these situations in our life like a purification too. So yeah, just I want to say that. If I can say also my question in this regard, maybe it has some relation.
Well, there was a question from Jiva Prabhu. I don't know if that's Jiva Pavana Prabhu, is it? So, are you there, Jiva Prabhu?
Yeah,
Not
hi.
sure.
This is just Jiva.
Oh, it's Jiva Prabhu. Did you want to ask your question directly? And then Navalatika Didi, maybe you could ask your question at the end. Is that okay?
Yeah, I can ask. Yeah, you can read it off.
You can go. You can go, Prabhu. Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Yeah, my question was that our gurus and param gurus or siksha gurus, they've sometimes given instructions to avoid certain camps or personalities. And in the attempt to follow those instructions, the disciples may sometimes have a habit of critiquing. And so how to stay harmonious, even though those people, they may have a different mood or a different understanding of the sastra or a different mood in which they follow, but they're still sadhakas and they're still Vaishnavas. And if they're in a bona fide sampradaya, then they should be respected. So how to maintain the boundaries that were set up by our previous acharyas, but at the same time, practice or even sometimes take inspiration from those people.
I'm sure Charchandrika Didi has something. I'll just say real quick is that I live in a place where there's over 1,000 devotee families, and many are from different sanghas, different, you could say different groups or whatever, all in Mahaprabhu's family with, different moods and whatnot. And just practically for me, the place Gurudev said we should go where we're inspired in bhakti. So I go to the sangha, to the devotees. I associate with the devotees who inspire me to love my Gurudev and to progress in my bhakti. And those places or sanghas or areas where I feel maybe I know someone criticized my Gurudev, or maybe there's some different mood, or maybe I just don't feel as connected they're still all chanting, they're still all devotees. They're still, so whenever I see anyone, I Haribol, smile, Haribol, how are you? And I try and give respect, but I don't associate with those who I know may be inimical, or those who may have different, maybe not teachings, but they're following a little differently than my Gurudev. So I try to give that respect, because they're chanting the holy name, they're trying in bhakti, and it's not my business what they're doing. My business is trying to associate and find that association that inspires me in my path, and avoiding the association. So I'm sure Charity, maybe she has some corrections as far as mood, but practically speaking, being in this environment that I'm currently in, I'm not a pure devotee. My mind criticizes. So if I'm in a sangha, or I'm in a group or a program where there's maybe mixed company, and I don't want my mind to become critical and focused. So I tend to avoid certain association, and I try and have the association where I feel inspired and where I feel connected with Gurudev. But I do my best not to put myself in a situation where I'll become critical or disturb anyone else's bhakti.
I just wanted to mention this verse, Swajatiya Ashai Snigdha, where Gurudev always told us we should associate with those who are Swajatiya. They have a love and affection for us. I have love and affection for them. They have love and affection for us. Ashai, we have the same goals in mind. What is our goal? So if you're going to get on a train and this train's going to this place, you want to jump on that train. If you're going to jump, if you're in Vaidhi Bhakti, you want to follow, Ramanujacharyas in South India, or that's wonderful. That's great. Jump on that train. So Swajatiya Ashai Snigdha, and those who have affection, the Dadati Pratigunati, you're giving and receiving. So we want to, seek out those people who have the same goal, who are affectionate to us, and we're all in the same kind of thing, but at the same time, not criticizing it. That's the other one, more advanced than you. Because if we're associating with people who are not as more advanced than us, not on the same level, or a lot of times I find I associate with people on the same level, but I always try to associate with people who bring me up, who pull me up, who can inspire me spiritually. If you're just hanging out with devotees to have fun, and go swimming, you're not advancing yourself in bhakti, even though technically you're in devotee association. So that's my 2 bits.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I was going to say that also, it's a very, very nice question, and very good answers. Also, that sometimes a guru or Vaishnav will, want to protect, those especially who are kind of neophyte devotees from going here and there and associating with other groups of devotees who may influence him or her in a certain way that may not be so favorable to, especially to what the guru's giving, or the Vaishnav's giving. So that's there also. Of course, as we advance, then that might open up somewhat, and we can associate, of course, we can discriminate in our association, and always we have to understand what's favorable, but we have to see that if the Guru and Vaishnav is telling, oh, don't go here, don't go there, don't associate with this group or that group or whatever, it may be for a certain reason. Especially in the beginning, it can be for protection.
So Charu, sorry, but a lot of people use that line to say that, well, Prabhupada said don't associate with Gaudiya Math. So that's one of the major, still, idea that people have, even though it's been debunked many times. So I think it's just more addressing, Madhavi's trying to talk about harmony, and we have to come to some
Well, the thing is, I mean, Srila Prabhupada did say that in the beginning, because certain of his disciples were going to Gaudiya Math, and they were associating, and they were learning so many things, but some got confused. So in the beginning, Prabhupada did say, yes, be careful, don't associate there, because he was protecting them from becoming confused and misunderstanding what he was giving, or making offenses even, because if you go in to different groups and you start saying, hey, my guru's not teaching like this and you're teaching like that, so you're wrong, you're off. They're going to end up making offenses, so that can be there. So definitely for protection purposes, the Guru Vaishnav can warn. But harmony, of course, as we advance, then we can reconcile all these things, and we can associate and understand what's favorable, what's not, like this, more and more.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, this my question was with Krishna Priya brought up when she was saying that Srila Prabhupada did instruct in the beginning, warning his disciples not to associate so freely with other groups. And my personal situation is the complete opposite of Madhavi Devi, because I'm living in a community of about like 3 families maybe, and my heart is with Srila Gurudeva and Srila Prabhupada. But this is a strict, ISKCON community. So it's like, I can't openly, just associate with everyone, because I can't just say, yeah. And, in Madhura Kadambini, Srila Gurudeva says this, and I can't start saying these things because it'll be blocked off. And I tried to figure out how to like be harmonious with them, and at the same time, not critique or not open myself up to be critiqued by them, and then get into a whole exchange of aparad. So sometimes it just seems really difficult to navigate, for somebody.
It's a very fine line. Gurudev said that bhakti is like a razor's edge, and you're walking on it, and anytime you can fall off. So you really have to choose. Like, personally, I think like choose like, is this beneficial for me? Is this giving me inspiration? Is this bringing me closer to Gurudev? Is associating, elevating me in my consciousness? For me personally, I'm in your same situation. I have 0 families to hang out with here in Canada. Wow. They're just full lockdown. Like, you get a $2,300 fine if you even hang out with anyone outside. So it's about, I chose to just, especially during this pandemic, is our circles are becoming a lot smaller. And so we just have to choose like, who is giving me inspiration. So if you're associating with people and you guys are chanting together and you feel like, oh, my bhakti is increasing, it's about judgment. Where is it in your own heart? If my bhakti is increasing, then this is good. If this is bringing me closer to God and Guru and the Guru Varga, this is good for my bhakti. If after I go and associate with people, if I hear some criticism of my Gurudev, or they're saying something to me that's making me feel sad and pulling me away from Krishna, then this is like, we just have to judge by our own feelings, is my thing. I say, if it brings you up in bhakti, do it. If it doesn't, stay away.
Yeah, that's an important point about, if you hear criticism of your guru or a Vaishnava who you're following, then be very careful not to associate there, because that will very much damage your bhakti.
Those are the 2 ones that I mainly have: the criticism of the guru and the deviation from like Siddhanta or the mood of Rupanuga. So I generally try to stay away from the camps who, are not following in those two lines. Okay, so
there's a lot of sincere people out there who are in ISKCON, and they have no bad intentions. They sincerely just want to chant and elevate themselves in Krishna consciousness. And I don't feel like associating with those type of people is detrimental. If everyone's getting together, let's have some kirtan and prasadam and read Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srimad Bhagavatam, then great. But if they're talking things that are against Siddhanta, against our guru, against all this stuff, then it's actually more dangerous to associate with people who can speak against Siddhanta and against pure Vaishnavas. This is more harmful to our bhakti than it is to not associate with them at all. So it's making our own judgment, because I don't know who they are like that. So it's just judging, like, is this bringing me closer to Gurudev? Is this inspiring me? Is it making me, you know, are you in the same train on the same goal?
Yeah,
It's hard. It's hard because we need some social interaction. We need community. We need chanting, you know.
It's exactly what I'm going through, because I was like, I need community, but I can tell every time I speak to them, because some of them are like Krishna West and their philosophies are, I mean, anyway, it's kind of a hot topic in ISKCON, the Krishna West thing. I'm not sure.
What I would also recommend is set an example. Like, you know, if they're speaking, Gurudev also used to speak in so many assemblies, like Rupa Goswami's assembly, remember Madhavi and Rup Sanatan, where he would get like 20, 30 different pundits to speak all different topics and different Siddhanta. And he would be silent. He would sit there. And then at the end, he would call one of his, you know, Sripad Tirtha Maharaj or Sripad Ban Maharaj or someone who's there who knows all the Siddhanta, or even himself. And he would just, like, if they spoke any Apasiddhanta or they did anything, he would correct them, but in such a gentle, sweet mood that they would be happy at the end. So he would give these amazing classes. So what my recommendation maybe would be is set an example, and you can maybe blow their minds when you speak with how beautiful and amazing this stuff is. And then they're going to say, well, where did you hear that? Or what's that? So if you're doing it in a, I'm so excited to share this with you. Oh my God, look, this is so amazing. It's infectious, this bhakti, this mood, everything's infectious. So everyone's getting together because they're interested in Krishna consciousness, that they have misconceptions from a bad association. So maybe if you try to be their good association and they get inspired by your example and be like, I want to be like you. I want to, you know the things that you know. And then you say, well, here's Gurudev's book.
Nice.
Thank you.
Mukunda Prabhu is here also. Did you want to say anything, Mukunda Prabhu?
Yeah, just about Raganuga and Vaidhi. Just as a small note, that actually in our Gaudiya line, no one is really practicing Vaidhi Bhakti. The name is actually called Raganuga Pravritti. Because pravritti means something that has a tendency or an action or movement towards something else. So we're following the vidhis of Sastra, because you cannot be without the vidhi of Sastra, right? So we're following the vidhi of Sastra to obtain maturity to the point where Raganuga Bhakti can be practiced in earnest. The actual path of Vaidhi Bhakti leads to Vaikuntha. And you already mentioned that, like in Ramanuja Sampradaya, etc. So they are genuinely practicing Vaidhi Marg. And we're practicing Raganuga Pravritti, because by the program, the sadhana that's given us, everything from Guru Ashtakam, in our case, we have our Mangalarati song, our Tulsi Parikrama, and of course, Kam Gayatri Mantra, etc. None of it regards at all anything to do with Vaikuntha. So it is all geared towards Braj Bhav. So it is Raganuga Pravritti, technically, because, and also even our acharyas, they will also follow the vidhis of Sastra. I've been in Gurudev's association. He will also do Mangalarti. He'll also chant a fixed number of rounds, so many lakh rounds, actually, in many cases, right? He always chanting Guru Diksha mantras during the Sandhya, everything. So not that no rules and regulations will be followed, but like you mentioned, Nyas, Mudras, Dwarka Dhyan, meditation on Dwarka, etc., that will be excluded. But they will follow, other than that, all vidhis of Sastra.
Yeah, that's very good points. Very good points. Yeah.
Thank you, Mukunda Prabhu. And Navalatika Didi, did you want to ask your question? You're on mute. You have to unmute.
Sorry. Yeah, actually, Mukunda Prabhu just answered my question, because I was, I think that in the beginning, we are following these rules and regulations, but at the same time, we want to like jump, jump to just read like, Vilapa Sumanjali or these things because it's so sweet, and we want to also, and my question were like, it's okay, I mean, to do this simultaneously, like follow the rules and regulations, and then at the same time like have these kind of sweets, like desserts, or it's not properly to do that. I'm not sure about that.
Do you want to answer Krishna Praditi first and then Mukunda Prabhu?
Mukunda Prabhu is senior in this.
I remember I had a manuscript copy of Geet Govinda that was 1997 or something, or 1996 or something. And I asked Gurudeva about reading it, and Gurudev said, dire dire. So Hindi dire dire means just go slow. So don't try to go very fast. But Gurudev was never discouraging about reading granthas like Vilap Pushpanjali, Geet Govinda, only that it should be done under guidance in Anugatya. And also, we should understand that really taste for these things comes at the stage of ruchi. So in that verse, tad bhava adi madhure shuti dirapekshite nasasasana yuktingscha tha lobat utpatti lakshanam. So real greed comes at the stage of ruchi. Before that, we have desire and notions, things like that. But lobh will really come at ruchi. So that means there'll be some nishta in bhajan. Then when you read it, just like if you make halava, you don't have to describe the process and the ingredients for somebody to experience what halava tastes like. You understand? You won't have to give them, oh, listen, I put 4 cups sugar, 2 cups this, that. Because automatically the taste will be its own experience, right? So similarly at the stage of ruchi, if you'll hear Harikatha, if you'll understand Geet Govind verses, or Vilap Pushpanjali, even if you'll read Narasingha Prahalad Charit, because Mahaprabhu heard Narasingha Prahalad Charit from Gadadhar Pandit and Tota Gopinath so many times, right? But from that, Mahaprabhu was tasting the moods of Radhika. So how is it possible? So when really greed comes thickly, and there's also good realization coming from whatever Gurudev's put in your patra, means in your heart, realizations are coming, that time greed will automatically arise in the heart, right? If you try to force it, well, I'm doing Raganuga, so I should have greed, and then I'll read something, I'm not quite sure the context, what meaning, so many things. We could also commit rasava, so many things could happen, right? So just Gurudev said, dire dire, go slowly, do bhajan life, and naturally it will happen.
That's why association is so important, because when we get this high class sadhu sangha, then the greed, well, it might not be real greed, but it will be some at least inclination, enthusiasm for these topics will arise, and we'll want to read, and like you said, read under guidance. So then
one thing that sorry for, I just had a remembrance. Gurudev says in his class that I heard, he said about the rules and regulations, these, like even Prabhupada said, we have to follow them because this is like the doorway, like, and it's the platform, as you were saying, Charu. But the one big thing is, just by following rules and regulations of Vaidhi Bhakti for thousands of lives, this alone will not bring us to Golok Vrindavan or to Vaikuntha or whatever our goals are, because Bhakti is present in the Bhakta. Bhakti is present in the heart of the Bhakta. And so the Bhakta is the only person that can give Bhakti. So we can follow rules, but at the same time, how do we get this Bhakti from the heart of the Bhakta? This comes from mercy. Mercy comes from trying. So Gurudev said we can't be like the kitten who the mom's carrying it around everywhere. It's not doing any work. And we also cannot be like the monkey, where all the monkeys, baby monkeys, doing all the work and the mama's just running. So this is like, the guru can't do all the work, the disciple can't do all the work. We have a little bit of chesta, we do effort, we follow all the principles of Vaidhi Bhakti, we follow the rules and regulations, and then we pray, we cry with our moods, please give me this greed. And by their mercy, Gurudev said, even if someone doesn't have Sukriti from associations of millions of lives, if we're weeping and crying and saying, I don't have this, but I really, really want it, Gurudev, please give it to me. And if we really want something, automatically, we're going to follow the rules and regulations. If we really want to go to Goloka Vrindavan, we're going to chant, we're going to follow the 4 regulative principles. We're going to learn all the Shastra because we're greedy for this. Like, oh, I want to know more. I want to know more. So, you know, to say I'm not going to follow rules or regulations, I'm just going to do Raganuga Bhakti. I'm not going to bathe. I'm not going to follow a fixed number of rounds. I'm just going to read high topic books. This is like Sahajya. Manjari Bhav and all this stuff, this doesn't come cheap. We have to put in effort. What is our effort? This is following all the rules and regulations of Vaidhi Bhakti that are favorable for cultivating our moods. So that's my
Amazing answers.
Yeah, I was thinking to ask one question to Madhavi Didi, because you were speaking and you gave the example also about Haridas Thakur and how he tolerated being beaten in 22 marketplaces, and he was having so much compassion in his heart. So we see in amongst devotee sanghas that there are, you know, sometimes quarrels, disagreements, you know, devotees get upset with one another and then they don't want to associate with that particular group or whatever it is, you know, they sometimes don't want to go to the temple, or, you know, someone's upset me, I don't want to go anymore, like this. So what would you say is the best course for someone? They know the philosophy, they know they should tolerate, they've heard Trinada Pisaneshana, you know, a million times, they've heard this verse Tatenam Kampansu Samikshmano a million times, but in practice, how would you say, you know, that can be implemented? You know, it's not maybe so easy to practice.
Yeah, it's not easy, especially because we have this nature. We have a critical nature. We're run by our emotions. In one sense, we have no power to be in control of these things, and on one level, and we are reliant on the mercy of Gurudev and Vaishnavas to give us the strength. So what we don't lack, you know, Krishna, he carries what we have, he preserves, I'm getting the quote wrong, but it's like he preserves what we have and carries what we lack. So if we see like, oh, I have this nature and I don't have the ability to control myself, I'm getting angry. I know one time he told Krishna Priya to drink a glass of water when she was mad. And you know what, like after so
yeah, I told him, I said, my anger is so uncontrollable. I'm always like, I'm just furious. I can't control it. And I was like, I just said, how can I control it? And he said, just drink 1 glass of water every time.
So it's like, it, you know, like our mind may criticize, but like control your tongue not to speak it. Our mind could get angry, but if we control ourselves not to, you know, go and beat up another devotee because we're mad, you know, we're like, there's some progress. And if we can, if we're just succumbing to this nature that we have, then we have to cry and pray and chant even more to Gurudev to help us, because really he's the only one. You know, we're stuck in this material world and we can look to so many things, but you know, if you're mad, put your hand in your bead bag, sit down, cry, you know, pray to Gurudev. Oh, I'm so angry. If we can't reveal, we have to reveal our heart to Guru and Krishna. We have to open our heart to them. So when we're chanting, then we're in their association. At that time of japa, we can open our heart to them and reveal more than we would to our best friend. Even more so, we reveal everything to them, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it, not just like hiding the bad things and, oh, look, Gurudev, look at me, I'm chanting so nicely. No, Gurudev, look, I'm filled with these things. I'm suffering because of these things. I want to follow your instruction, but I have no power, like a baby. I'm a baby. I can't even stand on my own 2 feet. So please help me. And if we're crying and we're begging like this sincerely, then of course Gurudev will help us. Of course, like there's no doubt that Gurudev's mercy if we're sincere. And so, learning, externally we can learn like some meditation techniques, or we can learn to breathe, or we can, so many things. But in the end, who will take that from the root? Who will take the root out of the cause of what's causing this condition within us, this fallen condition? Only Gurudev can take that. So we must turn to him for anger, for sorrow, for anything. We have to turn to Guru and Krishna, and we have to beg and we have to pray that they can help remove this, because this is a thing that will destroy what we want. It'll destroy that palace that we're looking towards. It'll destroy that. So having that like really sincere mood and giving it all to Gurudev and Krishna and praying sincerely, I don't know any way.
Yeah, very, very nice answer. And yeah, I was also thinking that, if one really has love for Guru, then, what has Gurudev instructed us, so even we're finding it so difficult to tolerate or forgive, but Gurudev said, no, we must. If you really have affection for Gurudev, then you'll definitely want to follow his instructions and you'll want to cooperate, because, for example, I may have difficulty with one devotee, but Gurudev has so much love for that son or daughter, and I can think that, oh, Gurudev loves, say for example Mukunda Babu so much, so why I can't, so like these things are there.
If Gurudev has accepted someone, especially when it comes to God family, if Gurudev has accepted someone, given them a Harinam, given them Diksha, they're chanting, and we don't like their personality or they trigger us in a particular way, at the very least we think, my Gurudev loves you, I have to love you. And maybe I have to love you from 1,000 miles away. From over here. I won't, maybe I don't associate because but it's me. I have this problem. This devotee doesn't have this. I have this anger. I have this issue, but Gurudev loved them. So I can also love them and Krishna is in every jiva's heart. So what to speak of other devotees, but Krishna is in everyone and everything. And that's the mood of the pure Vaishnava, Uttam Vaishnava. He sees that everyone is serving Krishna, either knowingly or unknowingly, but everyone is serving. So maybe we can't feel that mood, but intellectually, at the very least, we can and bring in that understanding that Krishna's in everyone, everything. So I have to give respect. I have to give. And if this person is hurting me or whatever, this is Krishna's doing because I've done something wrong. This is to correct me. This is for my benefit. It's not this other person. They're just the tool. You don't get mad at the hammer when you're hammering the nail and you get your finger. You don't yell at the hammer and throw it away and I'm never going to use this hammer again. It's worthless. No, it's like, so any person, anything that's coming to us that's causing that disturbance, that's Gurudev, that's Krishna. So we should actually even maybe honor them more. Oh, this person, wow, thank you for correcting me. Thank you for letting me see what's inside of myself. And now I have something to work on. Now I have something to focus on in me.
Also, it's a good way to remind us about our own pride. Gurudev said, sometimes we're chanting and we're doing so much service and doing all this temple service and doing all our rounds and following all the rules and regulations. And then we begin to think, wow, I'm coming to the stage. I'm so advanced now. He said, then if I come up to you and slap you very hard in the face, what are you going to do? Immediately, everything, all your bhajan, all your rules and regulations are out the window. And you think, why did you hit me? Why are you insulting me? So we have to think about, like Gurudev said, take our own pulse. Are we advancing? How much are we advancing every day? And sometimes we can test ourselves. Even for me, like I think, oh, sometimes I'm so advanced, I'm doing bhajan every day. And then my 12-year-old daughter will come and say something to me and I'll completely lose my head. I'll just yell and shout. And then I think, wow, if I take my pulse here, if I really think I'm so high in advance, how can like a 12-year-old girl's one comment make me fly off the edge? So then I have to go drink a glass of water. sing Gopinath, Akminavyadana, sing some bhajans, and just cry to Gurudev, because we have to take our own pulse and realize, like, okay, if I'm getting angry, this is my own anartha. So how can I get rid of this anartha? We cry, we pray, we do our kirtan. That's not much.
He would say it's like it's easy to live in a cave, you know, and do bhakti and be like, yeah, I'm so great, you know, but then you come to the world and someone, you know, kicks you accidentally or whatever. Oh my God. And the Mat was established, the Gaudiya Mat was established with all these devotees living together. And it's like when you have these semi-precious stones, they have to go into something called a tumbler. And then they're in this confined space. And then the rocks, they rub and rub and rub. The machine rotates and they grind against each other until they become smooth and shiny and polished. So this association with devotees, sometimes it can feel like that. Like this, it's rubbing, it's uncomfortable. I don't like it, but why? It's for our own purification. It's for our benefit. And so when we can switch and we can understand that, then even if we get upset, we can accept, we can digest it as that medicine, instead of trying to like, oh, it's somebody else, or there's something wrong with them.
Playing the blame game, blaming everyone else except our own self. Gurudev said, look in your own heart. If you're going to criticize someone, to say, do I have this fault? If you're saying, oh, look at that person, they're so angry. First, look at yourself. Am I an angry person? Oh, that person's so lusty. So for me, I find when I criticize someone else, I'm actually criticizing my own bad qualities. And then even if you don't have those bad qualities, oh, that person's doing this or that, when you're doing that, like Madhavi said, you're making a bridge. Gurudeva says that, why are you making a bridge to their heart? Why are you talking all these negative things? Why can't we praise that
and
devotee?
all the bad
Look how much
qualities,
service. Yeah.
all their bad qualities come in us, and we lose our good qualities like this. But what
and
Madhavi
when
did,
we're angry, the fire immediately destroys all our bhakti. You can feel it. If you're chanting and then all of a sudden you get angry, immediately you feel like this is gone from my heart, because you can't have anger in your heart, you know, and be sincerely praying, you know, so.
Yeah, the example that Madhavi Didi gave about the tumbler, and when the pebbles, the stones or whatever, are rubbing against each other, they get smooth. So actually, you know, even though it sometimes feels very tough to be in the association with devotees and the criticizing or anger,
it's harder to not be in association, so everyone appreciate it if you have it, because I haven't had it in over a year, so you're lucky. Don't fight.
But yeah, definitely. And you know, so that example about the stones becoming smooth, that's our hearts becoming smooth, actually becoming very soft. And you know, all good qualities are coming in our heart if we could just learn to tolerate. It's maybe the most difficult thing, but it's such a good quality to develop. You know. Anyway, Makunda Prabhu, did you want to say anything? No, okay. All right, anything else, Navalatika Didi? No, okay. All right, that was really nice presentation. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
I saw a Tirtha Pradhan. I don't know if it's senior Tirtha.
I didn't. Is that Tirtha Pradhan there?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it is. I just see the name. If it is, and certainly he may want to say something. He's so senior.
Is Tirtha Pradhan Prabhu there? Yeah, is he there?
I just see the name. That may not be, you know, senior Tirtha Pradhan. It may not be.
Oh, okay. Anyway, if he'd like to say anything, he's welcome. Okay. Yeah. All right. So thank you so much.
He is not the senior Tirtha Pradhan. Okay.
He's not. Okay. So thank you so much, Madhavi Didi and Krishna Priya Didi.
Good to see you, Madhavi and Char. Dandavats Makanapu. Dandavats Kranamai.
This is our sadhu sangha like this now.
This is my association now.
Do what we can. I mean, live and direct is always best, but you know, this is a good second to that. So thank you so much. You gave really, really nice talks, very practical, Madhavi Didi. You covered a lot of nice points from the Harmony book. about Trinadapi, Sinisha and all these things, and how we can practice in our own life. So a lot of inspiration came from that talk, and to also Krishna Prayer Didi. That was really, really good talk about Vaidhi and Raganuga Bhakti, because a lot of people think, yes, I want to practice Raganuga Bhakti, but it's so high and it's too high for me, it's too far away. But actually, like Mukunda Prabhu said, we're practicing Raganuga Bhaviti, so Vaidhi Bhakti, but with the greed, some desire to enter into Raganuga Bhakti with that in mind. So a lot of inspiration has come from your talk. Thank you so much. And thank Navalatika Didi and
Thank you, Charu Didi Ki Jai, for hosting this program.
Yes.
And thank you, Navalatika, for co-hosting.
And Mukunda Prabhu, thank you for your input as well. It's always very nice to hear from you. Okay, so is Radhika Didi there? Is she there to do bhajan, Maha Mantra? Maybe she's gone.
Is Suchandra online? I think maybe she can.
Suchandra
I'm
Didi?
here.
Sorry, who? What's your name, Prabhu?
Chaitanya Chandra.
Oh, Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu. Okay.
Oh, Suchandra's online.
All right, Suchandra Didi, would you like to sing? It'd be really, really nice if you could.
Radhika's online too.
Oh, Radhika Didi. Sorry, I can't see everyone's video, so I don't know who's.
Hare Krishna.
Hi, Will.
Haribo, are you talking about me, Suchandra?
Oh, is that the? Sorry, we were thinking that was.
I thought it was
Suchandra
Hawaii
Didi from
singer.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody confuses me. I get so many friend requests from people, and then they're always really disappointed when it's not her.
No.
Really good
Sorry.
for my ego.
Oh. It's always nice to see you, Suchandra Didi. Thank you for coming.
So nice. Thank you so much, ladies, for your lovely wisdom.
Thank you. So Radhika Didi, you're there, huh?
Yes, sure.
Okay, sorry, I couldn't see you. So.
No, I don't mind at all. I know Krishna Priya and Madhavi Didi are both two Kirtanese as well, so yeah.
I was going to say it'd be nice if you could do all together, but on Zoom it doesn't work. So.
Oh, please all join in with your hearts and voices anyway, even if you're on mute. It's Kirtan's like that, isn't it? Gurudev can sing through all of us collectively, and that's how he always had us harmonize, even in Kirtan. It's actually one of the most amazing ways that he would have us all harmonized. Like we could all come together in Kirtan at any time, even if we had any like issues with each other or conflict with each other. Kirtan just alleviates all of that anxiety and brings us into that platform of servants of the seven, no?
Yeah, definitely. All right.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol Gurudeva ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai Shri Guru Parampara ki jai.
Thank you so much. Very, very nice, very sweet, as always. Okay. So if everyone would like to unmute, if you want, put your video on, say Hari Bol, they can. I just wanted to say, if you know any ladies who would like to speak on this forum, then please let me know. You know, if there's a lady out there who wants to speak herself, then please come forward, or if you want to suggest anyone, let myself or Navalati Kadidi know. That'd be great. Okay, so Hari Bol, everyone.
Jai Shri Gurudeva.
Haribo,
Hari
Haribo.
Bol. Hari
Wait,
Bol.
is
What's
this
your
going to
name?
be a
What's your
regular
name?
thing? Oh, Jiva. I'm the one with the
Jiva.
question.
Oh, that's Jiva, Prabhu. I didn't see you on video before.
Yeah, I was like moving around and doing stuff. So, but
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Where do you live?
I live right now in North Carolina in a place called Prabhupada Village.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
it's actually with the Bhaktivedanta archives. Madhavi's with the
Oh,
Srila
wow.
Gurudeva archives. So
Nice. Okay.
I just thought it
Great.
was cool.
Yeah, great. Fantastic. Thanks for joining. Who's
Yeah.
that?
So, but is this going to be like a regular thing?
Yeah, it's every 2 weeks.
Every 2
So
weeks?
yeah, we do Srila Gurudeva Vaishnavi Pracar one Friday, and the following Friday Bhakti Basics. So we just go through, you know, different aspects of the philosophy, you know, Tattva, Siddhant.
So it's every other Friday. Just tune in for the whatever subject matter is for that time.
Yeah, last week it was Guru Tattva, and this following Friday will be Guru and disciple relationship, like that. So
Nice.
yeah, so it's alternate weeks, and then the following Friday will be again Gurudeva Vaishnavi Pracar. So yeah. Yeah, so if you want, just WhatsApp me, and I'll, you know, I can put you on the list or whatever. I'll just put my WhatsApp number in the chat.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna make sure that.
Okay. +44. I don't know. Plus. Ooh. Okay. That's it. Okay. All right. Who else is there? Okay. Anyway, we can finish now.
Hare Krishna, Charutandeva. Thank you so much.
Oh, Hari Bol. Is that Shamali, did he?
It is Shamali. Yeah, so nice to see you, and thank you for hosting this. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it was very, very nice discussion today. Thank you.
Oh, I loved it. Unfortunately, next week I won't be able to come real time, but I will watch the recording. Yeah.
So that you mean the Bhakti Basics?
Yeah, I'm trying to come to both, but sometimes I have a work